Hey guys, welcome back to another Ask Me Anything. I really wish that you could see me right now. Actually, I'm going to take a picture. I know that my professional microphone, it is a professional microphone, but it gives a little bit of like a tinny reverberation sound. So I am really hoping that this helps. I'm literally sitting with a towel wrapped around my laptop and my head in my office because there's a lot of like wood and anyway, the things we do, right? So today's episode, we are going to get into Threads. So all about it, some tips that I would have, and then, just if you should be on it or not. I know it's a fairly new platform. Today is day 6. They've already had over 100 million signups. So that is just, a marketing success story in and of itself. So we are going to talk about Threads. And then Katie also asked an amazing question of how do I engage with people who are on my list, but haven't necessarily purchased from me yet. So that's a really good question. I really am excited to talk about that one. That's it. Let's get right into the episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Society podcast. If you are new here, I'm Alexa Cawley. I'm the founder of Forever Friday Consulting. I spent 10 years in the corporate wellness space, working for companies like Lululemon and SoulCycle, and 4 years ago decided to start my own business and bring that expert marketing advice to everybody. On this podcast, we talk about everything from pricing, partnerships, everything that's going to grow your business and allow you to have fun doing it. If you enjoy this podcast, I would highly recommend that you hop into the Friday Society membership. You can cancel anytime. It is $50 a month, and we go way deeper into all of the topics here. So I go into live calls, webinars, workbooks, all pertaining to how to implement the learnings into your business. So you can check all that stuff out in the show notes, and let's get right to the episode. All right, so let's just dive in. A bunch of people have asked about Threads. Should I be on it? If I am on it, what should I say? And what I will say about the platform right now that I'm really loving is just like how fun and unhinged it is right now. I don't know if you guys saw, I reposted one of my favorite Showit website designers is Tonic Site Shop. You guys know I talk about Showit all the time, but a few of my favorite website designers on Showit are Elizabeth McCravey, Tonic Site Shop, and Christy Evanson, and I'll link them all in the show notes. But like Jeff Bezos posted something of like, what should I have for a hangover breakfast? And Tonic wrote back and said small businesses, and they got banned. Like Jeff Bezos blocked them. So it's unhinged, right? Like people are having a blast with it and they're just having fun with their marketing. And that feels really, really refreshing to see. So I'm loving being on the platform. If you haven't gotten on it yet and you're kind of considering if you should be on it, the one thing that I will say is that I have seen some kind of like, not a horror story, but I've seen some not great situations where a brand waited too long to secure a handle on a new platform, and then they weren't ever able to get their brand handle. So you don't want that, right? Like if there's another studio in, another town and they have a similar name to you, they might get your handle, and that's just not great for a brand consistency standpoint. So I would definitely make sure that you at least secure your handle. Like that's always going to be an important thing for your brand consistency as you grow, that people know where to find you and they know what your brand name is, right? So like that's definitely something that I would say. Another plus for me is that it's never a bad idea to build relationships in many different ways, right? I say this a lot, but like everybody learns slightly differently. It's, what makes us all unique and why we all resonate with different people because of the way everybody disseminates information. So because people learn in different ways, somebody might connect with you via Threads because maybe you're a little bit cheekier, or, maybe they're more of like they're more of a learner where they just like to read what someone's talking about as opposed to seeing it in video or in picture. So it is a really good way to connect with your audience in a different way. So that's another sort of plus that I would say. And even if it is a silly way, like it is just a better chance you have at reaching your people. So I'm for it. I think it's a great idea. I like this platform a lot. Something to know about the platform. And there's just like, there's a few different things to know that I can go through with you right now. And I think one of the most talked about things so far has been that, yes, if you do delete your Threads account, your Instagram will get deleted. So if you have downloaded Threads and you're like, I'm not sure about it, I don't know if I love it, don't delete it. You can delete all of your threads. And you can even deactivate your profile without deactivating your Instagram, but do not delete it because that will delete your Instagram unless you want to delete both. And then of course, go for it. So that is something that I would just, make sure you guys know. Something else is that blocked accounts do carry over from Instagram, which I really like. I feel like there's so many bots and things that I've blocked that I'm like, I just want those to stay blocked. So I love that. It is chronological, which I just absolutely love. I miss that about Instagram so much. So that's super fun. I'm trying to think of some other things that there are there. But yeah, just have fun with it. Like, it is such a great way to connect with people in like a clean slate kind of way. And again, everybody learns in a different way, right? So like some people, I've seen a lot of like health and fitness people kind of just posting like, hey, here's your toolkit, it's good sleep, this, boom, boom, boom. And I really like that visual format. So if you have ever done, like those Twitter style posts, you can just go ahead and just copy those over into Threads. Try to do like one a day, and just have fun with it. The other thing that I would say is this is a really great way to get in front of people's audiences that you feel have an aligned clientele to you. So if there is somebody, maybe it's even like a local business in your town, maybe you guys are both like commenting on each other's or something, because when you're commenting on a thread, it shows up in everybody else's feed. So I kind of remember like way back in the day when Facebook was like this, of, when you would comment on someone's pictures, like it would then show up in other people's feeds. I don't think that happens anymore, but it used to. So if there are brands that you're like, oh, I know for a fact, like my ideal audience is interacting with this brand, also be interacting with that brand because it'll show up on the right feeds. And that's a really good way for some brand awareness that maybe you've been lacking, or it's been kind of hard to get in front of other audiences. So this is going to be a really great tactic for that. So just to recap with Threads, yes, I'm pro. Get on your handle. So just secure your handle and make sure that you have that done. Don't delete it in case, if you are not loving it, you can deactivate it, but don't delete it because it will delete your Instagram, and have fun with it. People are really silly on it right now and just like quirky, and it feels really fun. So I'm enjoying it a lot, and I hope that you guys do too. All right, and then our second question is that Katie asked about engagement ideas and strategy for people on your list who have never purchased. Now, this is a great question. I think that now with any business, you are obviously going to have more email subscribers, more Instagram followers than you do paying clients, right? This is completely normal, and your conversion is something that is incredibly specific to your business. So I'm not even going to give like any numbers about what that ratio should be because it's completely different based on whatever your business is. But there are ways that you can engage the people who have kind of been teetering on the fence, right? And just like I have like a few basic marketing, tactics for that, but then I also have some thoughts, of course. So the first thing that I would do to kind of, just get into conversation with people is add in some FAQs about your product into your welcome email. Or, your welcome series of emails, like your nurture sequence, as well as putting that on Instagram, right? So I would put that on, like a carousel post probably about, some FAQs. To do this, I would probably just go to Canva and look up some templates for FAQs. They probably have some really good ones. I know I actually was just doing this for a client. They're doing like a Q&A. On their Instagram as a carousel post, and there are some really great templates for that as well. So I would probably put up like an FAQ, frequently asked questions, post on Instagram of the things that people ask you when they're new, right? Because when someone's new, when they have questions, it is a good indication to us that we haven't done a great job of communicating whatever they're asking a question about. Yes, I know there are a lot of people that ask a lot of questions and you're like, but I told you already. Don't take it personally. It might just be an opportunity for us to get a little bit better at over communicating. So I would definitely consider putting some FAQs in your email and on your Instagram. Little things like this could be, how long are classes? Will I get sweaty? If I don't love high impact, how is this going to serve me? Like all different things that people have asked you before. You can always head to your DMs and your inbox if you need a refresher on what people have asked you. Generally, it's a really good place for inspiration for that. So I would say definitely add in some FAQs in a few different places. Something else that I would consider doing is adding more videos of what your service actually does look like, right? On social, in your email, and on your website. It is one thing to tell people what your service is, and it is an entirely other thing to show them. I know for some of you guys, it might be a little bit more difficult to show them, but get into the habit of recording yourself while you're in the middle of your service, right? So if you teach class or privates, set up your phone and just record a session, and you can use that as B-roll. B-roll would just be like a background video that you're putting over a reel or anything like that, because that'll really help people start to understand exactly what it does look like to work with you. And this is something that I see become a huge switch for whenever people start to really start using this in their marketing. The interest just goes way up. So definitely I would say start to incorporate more visual representation of what your brand and your service actually is. And then the third tip is, just always make sure that you are consistently messaging what your product is and how people can purchase, right? So in your captions on Instagram, always make sure that you're closing it out with a call to action, like don't forget to book your classes this week, head to our link in bio, or just a directive. So try to make sure that at least every other post, you're closing out with a clear directive. I would also make sure that you are posting to your stories pretty often with whatever that clear directive is, take the course or do this. So yeah, that's definitely something that I would do. And then when it comes down to actually dealing with this problem, if you're finding that you have tons of email subscribers and no one's interacting with you, that might be a wake-up call. In how are you getting people signed up? Are you going to the right places to get people signed up? And what's your strategy around, your lead magnets? If this is a problem for you, if you have a lot of followers and a lot of email subscribers that are not your aligned audience, if you're in the membership, I would go back and rewatch our lead magnet and opt-in webinar, and I would redo some of those workbooks, because the work that we did in that month was really all about getting the right people signed up for our email list. So I would definitely revisit that one. And then just in terms of your messaging, just continue to be you. Don't try to be anybody else or copy anybody else's email that you really liked. People are working with you because of who you are. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I hate writing. Just be you. Write it as if you are having coffee with your ideal client and you're excited to talk to them and tell them all about your story, because that's what's really going to resonate. Something else that you could also consider doing to just further the relationship is, obviously you're not going to be able to do this forever, but consider voice noting your new subscribers. In my Flowdesk, I have a custom form that I also know what somebody's Instagram handle is when they sign up for the newsletter. So I just I can send a voice note. I used to be able to do this a lot more, but I haven't been able to quite keep up with it. But it was something I really loved doing, and I really liked connecting with people that way. So that's always a really fun thing to do. Just remember, my approach anyway is relationships and value first, right? So I don't really like to look at people as purchasers versus not purchasers. I kind of look at everybody in the audience as somebody who wanted help, right? And liked my approach. And whenever they decide to purchase, or if they never do, that's completely okay. So, that's sort of just my personal approach to it. But I do understand you don't want an entire email list full of, people who are not purchasing from you, because we're businesses too. So I completely understand that. The other thing I would say, just for some encouragement, is think of the way that you've interacted with brands. Like there's sometimes you buy right away that day, and then sometimes it's a few months later, maybe it's never at all. And you kind of want to think about like what has made you decide to purchase. What about their messaging? What about their visual representation of their product? What about their marketing, really made you go for it? So that's something I always kind of like to analyze whenever I'm like, oh, I have to have that product. Like, why do I have to have it? Is it because that person looks so good in that bathing suit, or they look like they're having so much fun that like I want to have that kind of fun too? So always try to look at what makes you purchase, because those are things that you can use in your business too, right? Like if it is that someone's having so much fun, can you also maybe show how fun your workout is? So, and Katie, if this question was your question, I know that you can show how much fun your workout is because it is so fun. So that's definitely something that I would say. That's it. I hope that answered your question. And yeah, we're doing pricing in the membership this month. So we actually have a bonus session today from a bookkeeping expert. She's going to be teaching us all about finance tracking. And if you guys can't make it live today, that will be on Teachable tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm teaching the webinar about pricing strategy. So we're going to be diving really deep into mapping out our client journey, especially in the beginning, what price, what package that's going to correlate to for our clients, how it weaves into the client journey and how to optimize that, how to optimize your revenue streams. If you have too many offers, which I know a lot of people also struggle with. So it's going to be a really packed month in the membership. If you've ever wanted to join, or if you've ever needed help with your pricing strategy, just make sure to pay attention this month. So that's that. If you're not a member and you wanted to join, you know where to find all the info, show notes, Instagram, my website, whatever, however you decide to get there is great. That's it, you guys. We have a lot of questions submitted for next week as well. So don't forget, you can always go to foreverfriday.co/AMA to submit your questions. And that's that. I hope you have an absolutely amazing week, and I will talk to you later.